Hello, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Funfold Friday. I can't believe how fast this week went, but it certainly went fast. So, welcome to my Fun Friday. I'm just getting my phone and everything set so I can see everything and make sure everything's aligned. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight, whether you're watching the live on Facebook, the replay, or on my YouTube channel. I appreciate you supporting my pages and my channel. Thank you very much. Well, tonight we are going to play with one of the new suites that are in the catalog. And actually, this is my favorite suite. It was the first thing I had to buy once the new catalog went live. And this is called the Kintsugi Inspirations Suite. And it has one stamp set. I'm going to put this one, I'm going to use a different stamp set for the greeting tonight. I'll show you that in a minute. It's new as well. It comes with the bundle Inspiring Imperfections. So it has these beautiful 11 stamps, and it has several different sentiments and some just beautiful images. You're going to see on one piece of the designer series paper, I kind of did a lot of die cutting, and I'm just keeping this in here so I have it. But we have all of these wonderful dies. You have one die for a sentiment. You have two dies for and dies for the stamped images. You have some dies for cutting out some gold foil for how the Japanese, I think it's Japanese people would put together their pottery when it broke. They would seal it with gold. So we get this look right here with those cracks filled with gold. And we can do that with these dies. And we can also use them as stems, petals. This is a photopolymer stamp set. So let me just get that picked up and get this on right so they don't stick. And I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. I actually have made 5 weeks of fun folds with this set. So you'll be seeing it. I'm not going to do all 5 weeks in a row though. I'll kind of switch it out. So it also comes with this really cool embossing folder. And let me see. I hope you can see that really well. It looks like the broken pottery that has been put together, that it has the big seams in. So I've used this and it really embosses nicely. So you'll be seeing this on some of my cards that I post on Facebook. And it also comes with these gold flower accents in the suite. We'll be using these tonight to add some bling to the front of the card. But I love the brightness of the gold in these gems, or accent pieces. So that will be a lot of fun tonight. I want to show you the designer series paper because it's just really beautiful, and we'll do one side at a time. So on one side, you just have some backgrounds with some, muted designs in it. So we have this midnight, Misty Moonlight. I don't know what I was thinking. Then we have some of the beautiful cloud cover, one of our new in colors. We have some Pretty in Pink. We have 2 patterns of Pretty in Pink. So that's really nice with this suite. We have another cloud cover design. Another Misty Moonlight design. We're going to be using this one tonight. And another Pretty in Pink. So I'm going to turn these over and show you, this is a specialty paper, so I'm going to show you the beautiful gold foil that's added to all of these designer series paper. So we have this one with a white background and with all the gold, beautiful gold fillings. We have this one that has a variety of the designer series paper. I'm going to hold this a little lower so you can see that there's different designs within, and then there's some plain colors and the gold going through. It's such a pretty piece. We are using this piece tonight. I just love the beautiful gold mixed with the flowers. So that is a piece we're using tonight. This is a piece that I took my very first piece of this paper, and the dies fit every single thing here. So we have a die for the bigger urns, the bowl, or and the flowers. And so I cut everything out of this so that I would have some to use, and that made it fun. And then last week, oops, no, we have two pieces left. We have a piece of basic beige with the gold. And then we have a piece of the Misty Moonlight with the gold embossed on it as well. So the designer series paper is just really, really pretty. So here's what we need tonight. We are going to need some Misty Moonlight cardstock. This measures 5.5 by 11, and we're going to be doing some scoring on this in just a minute. We are also going to need 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight. I just used a bit of a quarter piece of the paper to cut this out, but I cut 2 of the textured notes dies out, and you can see they both have a different pattern on it. So you'll need just an extra piece of the Misty Moonlight for that. Then we're going to need some basic white cardstock. So we're going to need a piece that measures 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to need 2 pieces that measure 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. We're going to need 2 pieces that measure 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. We're going to need 1 piece, and I think I forgot to put this on my notes, 1 piece that measures 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. And then we need a scrap to cut out the exact same nestled notes dies as the Misty Moonlight. Now for our designer series paper, this really pretty paper, we need a piece that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. We're going to need, and this is the same design, 2 pieces that measure 1 1/2 by 5 1/8, and then 2 pieces of one of the Misty Moonlight designs, and these both measure 2 1/4 by 5 1/8. So that is what we're going to need tonight. We are going to be doing minimal stamping, and the stamp set I'm going to use tonight is just a greeting. Hi Barbara, thanks for joining. It's called The Right Words, and this was another set that when I saw it in the new catalog that I knew I really wanted. It just has so many different sentiments that work together. So we have in the middle, sending good vibes, you're so kind, ... a lot. And on the right, to someone we're celebrating every day, thanks so much for thinking of me. Happy birthday. Hoping the loss you feel right now will be eased by wonderful memories. So hard to find a good sentiment when you're trying to send a sympathy card. Thinking of you, forever loved, forever remembered. I miss you already, but just know how much I love and care about you. I wish I had the right words for a time like this. I know good things when I see it, and I see lots of good things in you. And finally, I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope you love where you're going. So that's the set we're going to be using, and we're using the You're So Kind. Now, let's take a look at the card we're making. So I got this inspiration from Cards and Stuff with Gail. She's an Australian demonstrator. I changed her dimensions. So I cut the cardstock a little differently than she did. I used some different die cuts and a different sentiment. So this is a little bit different, but this is, I'll just show you this way first. This is an M fold card. So I can open it a couple different ways. I can open it this way, and then this way, or I can open it like this. So we've got this beautifully designed front. I added some gems too, and she didn't add those either. And then the inside. And like I said, you can open it in multiple ways. So let's do our stamping first. And so I am going to be putting on my little white panel. Let me find that. It's the only stamping we're going to do tonight. So let me just set all of this over. I'm going to get my Misty Moonlight ink out. And I'm also going to get my silicone mat because I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back. We're also going to need some gold foil, and I just cut out some greenery. This is actually from, let me see if I can see the name of the stamp. I have all my new stamps all piled up here. This is actually from a future stamp. It's called Peaceful View. It's not available right now, and I just used it to cut some greenery. So I'm going to take my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little dot on some of the leaves. I don't need a lot of glue, just a little bit of the liquid glue will hold that all together. And I am going to be putting this, I didn't even put any on the bottom, so I have a place to hold it. Hi Joyce, thanks for joining tonight. And I'm just going to put this right on the side of this. Just hold it down for a second to get the glue adhered. And then since I have this in place, I wanted that in place before I started doing my stamping. And I also like to stamp on a scrap paper the first time I stamp to make sure it's straight, and it is, so that is good news. So I'm just going to stamp the You're So Kind right there. And that is all of the stamping I'm going to do tonight. So I'm just going to put my ink away. Now let's get out my scoreboard, and we're going to score this piece of cardstock. So I also changed, when I said I changed the dimensions a bit, I did. So if you go to her site and see it, you'll see that my numbers are different. I also changed how I scored it. So just another little difference as well. And I will be putting my measurements and my scoring in the comments after the video. And of course it will be in the description on my YouTube channel. All right, so I am going to be scoring this at 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to score this at 4 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to score this at 6 3/4 of an inch. There we go. Easy peasy. So I am going to be scoring this. I'm going to start with this piece that's going to be folded over to make the back. And let me just grab my bone folder. And I'm just going to give a nice burnish to that edge. So when I open that back up, that's going to be the back. This piece is going to fold in. So this is the first score line. And then this one is going to go like in a mountain fold. So we have valley, mountain, valley. Nope, this is why I changed it. I did not do this right. Let me cut another piece. I changed it because when I did hers, there was this big edge over here, and so I needed to change it so I didn't have the big edge, and so I was scoring based on hers, not mine. So let me, because yes, so we have 1, 2, and 5/8, and 1, 2. Yeah, our panels here on the inside don't equal. So let me go back in and see what I scored it at so that we get the scores right on the new piece that I am going to cut. So it was 1 3/4, 4 1/4, and 6 3/4, and I think that's what I did. Sorry, I did this. I always do my... Okay, I scored it 4 1/8. That is my problem. I went by what Gail had said. So let me just cut another piece of paper real quickly. Let's see. I'm just going to have to go around to the other side of my desk where my paper is, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I should have looked on my notes so that I scored it the right way. But, okay, we're going to just start from scratch. So the piece again is 5 1/2 by 'So I'm just fixing this on my sheet by 4 1/4, not 4 1/8. Totally forgot that I had to fix that too. So when I changed my dimensions, I had to change the scoring as well. Okay, so we're going to do it right this time. So the scoring is at 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 4 1/4, and then 6 3/4. Now we are right, and we'll go right back to where we were. And let's get this all folded. So I'm starting with that valley fold. At least you can see that I am so very human. And now you can see the difference, how that now lines up nicely. And I just forgot to change that on my notes. Changed everything else. And let's do the last burnish. All right, so now we have our fold. So it's going to open up like that, and all of the ends are going to meet. Okay, so now let's take all of our papers, and we're going to start. This is like a Dorene Decibus card. I love layers. And so this one has lots of layers. So all of my designer series paper is going to go onto my, on pieces of basic white cardstock. And what I'm going to do first is that I didn't get a chance to do this last week when I was showing people about the Stampin' seal. When you run out to change your cartridge, you're going to open it up, and the first thing I do is go along the edges, because there is always some little glue built up there, and it won't help anything if you leave that there. I'm actually going to try to wash these to see if I can get all the other little areas that have a little bit of glue on them. And then I just make sure there's nothing else on the inside. So our Stampin' Seal Real Feels come into this package. They are, you can reseal them. So they come out, and there's a top piece that says Stampin' Seal, and the underneath has the 2 spools on it. So this piece is going to fit right in here with the Stampin' Seal, and then I'm going to put this cover back on. Now sometimes the tape isn't right here, like I can feel it's not right here. So I have to roll it until I get that sticky side, and so I'm able to then add my adhesive, and I'm just going to do like a little check mark. Now sometimes these rolls, you'll see, oh, this one did it, isn't that perfect? You'll see that as I did that, it went right off of the roller. So I am going to just pick that up. Hopefully I don't ruin it, because I've done that before too. And I just want to put this back on the roll. Now, if it doesn't go back on the roll, like this one's fighting me, and I can't loosen it, so I've just made a mess of this, then I would say, because this has happened to me too, that I have a defective roll. So I would really say that this one is defective, because I can't get it back on. I might be able to work on it later and get it back on. Oh, oops, I just got it back on. Once you get it back on, you have to tighten it up. So you do that by just rolling it a bit. Got to roll it in the right direction. And then, and I can see it's still not quite tight. So let me just get it. There we go. It's tightening up now. So now I'm going to put it back in. And it still seems loose. So this does happen once in a while. And when it happens, if you can fix it like I think I have, we'll try it and see. Nope, it's coming off. If that happens, once in a blue moon, I get a cartridge that just doesn't work, and I have to return it to Stampin' Up. So if that ever happens to you and it's still not working after you've done all of this, then contact your demonstrator so that your demonstrator can help you out. So now let's get this one starting. Okay. So I am going to decide which way I like it the best. This is going to go in the very inside of my card. Then for these 2 places, I am going to take my Misty Moonlight pieces, add some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to put these on white. So I'm using a combination of the gold foil and the plain foil. And I'm going to grab those bigger pieces of white and add these on. There's one. And there's a second one here. So I hope everybody had a great week. The weather kind of was awful with all the rain we got. But hopefully that's going to change now that we've had all of this rain. And then I'm going to take the smaller pieces, which are going to go in the front and inside, and put these on the smaller pieces of the white. So I do like layers. That is definitely my trademark when I make cards. And I'm going to be really working on some designs this weekend with this set because I'm in a swap. So I need to make 16 cards of this. And then I'll get 15 cards back. And that will be very exciting. Okay, so now I'm just going to be putting my tape on the back of the basic white. This first one's going to go right here on the front. So I'm actually going to do it this way so I can see it better and bring it down a little more. There we go. And now we'll go on to the inside. There we go with that. And now we're going to put in our layers, the bigger pieces. This one will go right here. And this one will go beside it. So I love anytime you can have a design of a card that you can show off a lot of the designer series paper. I'm trying to be better about using my designer series paper. And so here's one example. So now this is how this is going to close. So when you're looking at the outside, you're going to see both designs of the designer series paper. When you open it up, you're going to see both designs of the designer series paper. Now, as I said, this is going to be layering. So I'm going to start with this piece right here. And I am going to center this. This will be the piece that I will be writing my message to the recipient on. So that's going to go right in the center. And then I am going to be placing this piece, which is the same size. It is going to be going over, and I want to cover that piece. So this piece is going to get my white, oh, here it is. This piece is going to have the white piece centered on it. So I'm going to put this on first and make sure it is centered on that beautiful rectangle. I'm only going to be putting adhesive on this side of my back so that it doesn't, so that the adhesive doesn't close it. So I'm going to put quite a bit on so that it's going to stick. And I'm going to close this because it's going in on this piece. And what I want to make sure of is when I put this down, that I am matching this up so it covers it. And there we go. So that's done. So now we have that piece and it covers that inside. And now the next part is going to be putting this on so that we have an even amount of white showing. And I'll be doing that in just a minute. But we're going to decorate first. This will be the fun part. So I'm going to bring my adhesive mat back out because I've got some little things. I cut this from, I believe, from the Painted Lavender set. This is just white cardstock that came from this set. And what I am going to do, let's find some scissors over here somewhere. I know I have them. They just get all moved around. So I'm just going to take a small pair of scissors, and I am going to cut this into 2 pieces. So I am going to cut it right along here. So I have now 2 sprigs that I can use on this card. And I'm just going to cut a little bit of the rough edges where I cut off so that it doesn't really show. There we go. Okay, so now we have two pieces. I cut a one of the cracks out in gold, the filling, and I die cut out of 3 pieces of paper, designer paper, the cup or the bowl. And this one here was from the paper. And then I cut these 2 out plain. So what I'm going to do first is repair this piece. I think this is what makes this set so cool, because you can just make it look so different each time you use it. And I really like that. So I've put a little glue on, pick that up, and we're going to put it right on this plain vase. And I'm going to have it come from the top and go down to the corner. Now some of it's going to come off. I'm going to actually put, I didn't put any glue there, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue right under there so it sticks. There we go. Just hold it in place for a minute, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to just trim this off of the top. There we go. So that little bowl is all ready to go, and I'm going to leave the other 2 exactly the way they are. So let's put some of this together. So it's all going to go on this piece here, and I am going to start by just putting a little glue, and this one is going to go right towards the top. And then I am going to take my Misty Moonlight one, put a little glue on it, and this one is going to go right here in the middle. And this one is going to actually go up on dimensionals. So let me grab those, and I need... So I've got my dimensionals, but first I'm going to put some of these pieces on. So this one is really too big, so I am going to cut it right in here. And I'm going to save this piece for another card and just use this piece right here. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put just some adhesive on the back of this to stick some things to. So I am going to start with my white. I'm going to have that come out on either side, and I'm going to put the gold behind it. You just make sure it's sticking on the tape. There we go. So this is what our little saucer now looks like, with the white coming out, the gold coming out. Just a nice little arrangement. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And I'm going to make sure I'm putting the dimensionals over some of those pieces that have been taped down, just to make sure they're being held into place with a little extra oomph. So there we go. I'll take these pieces off and add them to that, and then we're going to be ready to finish up the card. And again, I apologize for that little blunder I had earlier. So then this is going to be standing straight right at the bottom, centered in. Okay. That's what it looks like right now before we put any bling on it. And now this is going to go on. Like I said, I want it so I'm just seeing a thin layer of white. I am going to use some glue for this because I want that little itty bit of movement so I can line it up and change it if I want to. So I'm going to come in with this first, make sure it's even, and then I'm going to hold down the glue for just a minute. It's just so pretty. Okay, so you can see that I've got that just little bit of white peeking out the other side. And make sure it's straight. There we go. Now I want to just add some bling to the front, just to tie all that gold in. Okay, so I am going to start with one of the big floral images, the little flower accents. It's going to go down at the bottom, and then I'm going to take two of the smaller and put just right up here at the top. And that is it. So we can open up our card like this. We can, oops, got a little extra adhesive there. I can open up the card like this and like this, or I can open it up like this. It will stand nicely to be displayed. Again, you can see that M that it makes. So that's it for tonight for for Fun Fold Friday. I will be back Sunday night for Simply Stamping Sunday, and so I hope you're able to join me then. Sunday night I'll be live at 6 due to another commitment I have, and I have some really great, it's the last week, so it's going to be all fun folds using the Impressions of Bloom. Next week, I think I'm going to use, I might use this one again, but I have some other fun folds planned as well. So I'm really ahead on my fun folds, but I'm really going to have fun with you on this this set. So again, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend if you're in the States, and if you're watching and you're from a military family, thank you so much for all your sacrifices and everything that your family has given to this country. I grew up in an Air Force family, and my dad was in the service for 22 years and served in 2 wars. And I'm so grateful for anyone who gives, who sacrifices their life to be in the service and protect our country and keep us free. So thank you to all of the military out there for everything you do. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.